I'm Kevin. I've been a software developer for a couple of years. I'm new to Go actually. This is my first year of using Go, tinkering with it. I did a small workshop earlier that really made me fall in love with the language, the simplicity, and the the way it's used, and generally the community also. Um, Today I wanted to talk about making an image recognition application that could determine the age of a bean plant. Since we can use machine learning models to extract information from images, I was thinking that I could just build like a small app that would get, let me say, size information from the length of the leaf or something, and then I could determine like how long that plant has been up. That was my original plan, and then I ended up discovering that that was not going to be so simple, and there's a lot of technical debt and technical understanding that goes into trying to create something like this. So today I wanted to do it instead to highlight some of the issues or the technologies that a person would have to focus on if trying to develop, say, an image recognition application, so that I can help also other beginner users actually get something done instead of spending all of their time researching different issues. So instead of sharing a slide, I'll be sharing an article that I landed on that I feel covers all of the technical issues that that one would face in the process. Let me first start with sharing the TensorFlow guides themselves. Anyone who has tried to look through the documentation for TensorFlow has seen that the Go bindings are extremely difficult to understand and to interpret. Okay, from in a quick sense, it's not easy for someone to just pick up the technology and let me say add the adapters and use them to create to process the information. Yes. Because when you start in this process, you imagine you're just going to build them, say, as an API service that will receive information, pass that information, like pass the image information, and then return that. As the article that I landed on that helped me outline this entire process is API in building an API recognition with Go and TensorFlow by Tin Rab Zej. I don't want to say, I hope I'm not saying that so badly. In the basic sense, we're going to look at getting the email, the request, the response. Okay, let me say the request response, passing the data, and feeding the tensor model to our machine learning model, and then returning some output. One of the first technologies that the person has to understand before even they dive into this is Docker, because since you're going to be running machine learning models, you're going to have to run some sort of orchestrated container to host both the application and the machine models that you're going to be running. So here he easily quickly describes the Docker compose file and load some TensorFlow. I'm not going to dive into details because it's a limited talk, and the more I looked into it, the more I realized that I cannot go into depth about some of the concepts that I wanted to cover. He extracts the golang image from the official repository, and then let's dive into the necessary packages for Go. Here I also want to take a side note to outline that I feel there's a steep, okay, not a steep, but there's a learning curve involved before you work with anything that is machine learning related. It's not plug and play like you'd imagine with many libraries. As a software developer, we get used. I think we get accustomed to being able to look into something, pick up a new technology, research it a bit, and then start tinkering around. The first, after the step of learning Docker, the next step you have to go to is learning, let me say, how to implement machine learning models. So what you get from a model usually is a graph that understands the image layers of the data, and then a list of labels that is used to, let me say, for the output to give you the response of what you're looking for and what is going to be predicted from the image layers. Let me dive directly into the model here. When you load the model here, you can see that an understanding of Go is not enough to be themselves to deal with it. That is quick. You have to get the image response, pass that to the model through the handler from your server, the HTTP server, and then send back the bytecode, the byte response. Images are another obstacle that you realize when working with images is that they do not allow you to add the data directly. You usually have to undergo some sort of transformation such that the machine learning model can understand the kind of data you're trying to feed it. I'll look at that here. I don't really think it's enough.